So today we're checking out something that honestly surprised me more than I expected. This is the FLASHFORGE Adventurer 5M. And right away, this thing feels like a 3D printer built for people who don't want to spend half their life calibrating, fixing, or waiting for prints to finish. Because let's be real, a lot of 3D printers still feel like projects instead of actual tools. But this one? It's trying really hard to change that. The first thing you notice is the setup experience. Most 3D printers in this category still require some level of patience, tweaking, and trial and error. But the Adventurer 5M is basically trying to remove all of that frustration. You unbox it, plug it in, run the automatic leveling system, and you're pretty much ready to print. And that auto-leveling feature is honestly one of the biggest reasons why beginners are going to love this machine. Because leveling a print bed manually is one of the most annoying parts of 3D printing. If it's slightly off, your print fails. Layers get messy, adhesion problems happen, and suddenly your 6-hour print turns into a pile of plastic spaghetti. But here, the fully automatic leveling system handles that process for you, which makes the entire experience way more beginner-friendly. Now the speed is where things get crazy. FLASHFORGE claims up to 600 millimeters per second printing speed, and honestly, this thing moves. Watching it print is almost hypnotic because it's significantly faster than older generation printers. And the crazy part is it still maintains surprisingly solid print quality, even at higher speeds. The CoreXY structure is a huge reason for that. If you've used cheaper bedslinger printers before, you already know how much vibration can affect print quality. The Adventurer 5M uses a CoreXY motion system combined with an all-metal frame, which helps keep movements more stable and precise. That means cleaner edges, smoother layers, and less wobble overall. And then there's the Direct Extruder setup. This printer uses a 280-degree direct drive extruder, which opens up support for more advanced materials. So you're not limited to basic PLA anymore. You can start experimenting with PTG, TPU, ABS, and other materials depending on your setup and ventilation. That flexibility matters because as people get deeper into 3D printing, they usually want to try stronger or more flexible materials. The detachable nozzle system is another thing I genuinely appreciate. Normally, swapping nozzles on a 3D printer can be annoying, especially if you're dealing with hot components and tools. But FLASHFORGE designed this system to make nozzle changes incredibly fast. They call it the 3-second detachable nozzle system. And honestly, it feels way simpler than traditional setups. Print volume here is 220 by 220 by 220 millimeters, which is basically the sweet spot for most users. It's large enough for helmets, cosplay parts, prototypes, home accessories, desk organizers, and functional prints without making the machine huge and impossible to fit on your desk. Now let's talk about noise because some 3D printers sound like industrial robots fighting each other in your room. But the Adventurer 5M is surprisingly controlled. It's not silent, obviously, but compared to older printers, it's way more manageable for home use. And I think this printer sits in a really interesting category because it's beginner-friendly without feeling limited. Usually beginner printers sacrifice speed or advanced features, while enthusiast printers become complicated and intimidating. This one kind of balances both worlds. If you're just starting out, the automatic calibration and simplified workflow make the learning curve much easier. But if you already know your way around 3D printing, you still get high-speed performance, material flexibility, and a strong mechanical structure that can handle more demanding projects. The software experience is also cleaner than expected. File preparation is straightforward, slicing is simple, and wireless features make transferring files less annoying. That matters more than people realize because the overall workflow of 3D printing is just as important as the printer hardware itself. And honestly, this might be one of the best examples of how fast consumer 3D printing is evolving. A few years ago, getting these kinds of speeds and features would cost significantly more money and require way more technical knowledge. But now machines like this are bringing advanced printing technology into a much more accessible package. You can literally go from idea to physical object within hours. Whether that's custom phone stands, replacement parts, miniatures, gaming accessories, prototypes, decorations, or functional tools, it changes how people think about creating things at home. The biggest takeaway after using the FLASHFORGE Adventurer 5M is that it removes friction. That's the best way to describe it. Less waiting, less calibration, less troubleshooting, and more actual printing. And honestly, That's exactly what modern 3D printers should be doing. Hi guys. If you want to buy this FLASHFORGE Adventurer 5M 3D printer with fully auto leveling, max 600 mm per second high-speed printing, 280 degrees Celsius direct extruder with 3S detachable nozzle, CoreXY all-metal structure, print size 220 by 220 by 220 mm, then please visit the link provided in the description. Now the real question is this. Are we finally entering the era where 3D printers become mainstream household devices instead of niche hobby machines? Because printers like this are getting really close. And honestly, I think we're almost there.